Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I'm the head trader here, but I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. So in today's video, we'll take a look at the economic calendar, then we'll go over some news, and then we'll do our market recap and market analysis. So starting here on the economic calendar, today we did get building permits come in at 1.147 million with 1.416 million expected. We also got services PMI come in at 55.1 with 52.6 expected. And we also got new home sales for April come in at 683,000 with 663,000 expected. And tomorrow, Wednesday, May 24th, we do get crude oil inventories drop, and then we also get some FOMC meeting minutes. So now we can look at some news. So we do have the Treasury asking government agencies if payments can be delayed because they have yet to agree on the raising the debt ceiling here. And so we have the mortgage rates back to 7%. Which means the cost to buy a house in America is now approaching $2,700 a month, when including, the mortgage, the tax, insurance, and maintenance. Meanwhile, the cost to rent is $1,850. So this is a massive gap here, with it being much more affordable to rent than actually to buy a house. And there is actually only 4 major metro areas where it's cheaper to buy than rent a typical home. And those 4 areas are Detroit, Philadelphia, Cleveland, and Houston. And here we have the 3-month Treasury bill yield moving back up to 5.4%, which is the highest level we've seen since January 2001. With a year ago, it's sitting at 1.03%, and 2 years ago, it at 0.01%. And here we have the U.S. government debt to GDP versus gold. So here you can see the public debt as percent of GDP getting back up here to higher than World War II levels. But then you can see the price of gold down here. But as you can see, the price of gold is pretty steady and cheap back here because the price of gold was actually pegged to the dollar, or the dollar was pegged to the price of gold. So it was actually a hard money system. We actually had value backing our currency. And then in 1971, which is right here where you can see this bar ends, we did go to a fiat standard where we could just, money is worthless and we just print infinite amount of money. So as you can see, now that we are back up to the same debt to GDP levels, the significant increase in the price of gold here. So that is why when you have fiat capitalistic systems like we have now, when you do have debt market implosions and extreme inflation, like real money like silver and gold tends to outperform here. And here we have the robotics and AI ETF closing at a 52-week high for the 4th day in a row, up 31% year to date. As you can see, really outperforming the S&P 500, the small caps, and obviously the banking ETF. And here we have the share of total net worth for the middle class here in the blue, and the assets here, like total assets, at the Fed and everything. As you can see, the gap spreading here as the rich continue to get richer, and the middle class is slowly getting destroyed by inflation. So now we can do our market recap here, starting in the debt market with the U.S. 10-year yield. As you can see, getting a red day today in the U.S. 10-year yield after just getting a nice squeeze to the upside here. Just kind of pulling back after getting a nice push to the upside again today. And look at the dollar. Green day here in the dollar continuing its move to the upside, running into this upper extreme here. Looks like it barely poked above Friday's highs here, still making its way to the upside. Really holding above that midline here on the weekly chart. Looking at the stock market, pretty big red day today after getting rejected off that upper extreme yesterday. Pulling back down here into this midline, into this previous resistance level here from Wednesday to the 10th of May. Starting the week off, pretty red here. Looking at cryptocurrencies, we do have Bitcoin with a pretty decent green day today, as you can see, wicking up above that midline, but getting pushed back down here, still just sitting down here at the lower end of this daily range and above this midline here on the weekly chart. Turning to XRP, we do have a green day here in XRP after bouncing off that midline yesterday. Looking for a move up here towards this upper extreme. If you remember a couple videos ago, I was kind of talking about this downtrend line that we were in. So, I would, kind of watch for this downtrend line to break, hopefully, and make its way up here. Turning to commodities, we have U.S. oil here getting a green day today, getting up through that midline and, coming up for a retest of these highs that we had on the 10th of May as well. Getting a nice wick here so far on the monthly chart. Looking like it kind of wants to reverse here. We can, you can draw a trend line on oil too, like we did XRP, as you can see. Breaking to the upside here. Looking at gold, we do have a green day here in gold. After coming down and wicking off that lower extreme and these lows back here from the 18th. Trying to find a bottom here in gold, but still sitting below this previous support level back here from the end of April. Turning to silver, we do have another red day here in silver, making its way to the downside, continuing its sell-off here. Still looking for that bottom in silver here, but it's getting a pretty large wick, to the upside here. Now we can do our market analysis, starting here on the daily chart of the S&P 500. Looking at the volume, as you can see, large volume day today, with a pretty much all selling, getting up above that vol average, like we just talked about, pulling back into these previous highs. This previous resistance level here. Can look at the 3-minute now. So we did get a pretty big gap down here, as you see. This was yesterday. Getting a pretty big gap down this morning. Then getting a kind of push here off the open, and then really going sideways before breaking down here at about noon. 12 o'clock, as you can see, breaking this downtrend line here, or this uptrend line. Getting down through yesterday's lows, breaking down through the open, and then really selling off here into the close. We can zoom out a little bit here. So looking at our 15-minute, we did have this broadening wedge that we've been talking about for the past couple days, and this is a bearish reversal pattern. So we did get our bearish reversal today, as you can see, getting our gap down here with our chop sideways before really selling off into the close. And if you zoom out, you can see these highs we pulled back into here. As you see on the MACD, just bullish or bearish here all day. Looking at the 2-hour chart over here, as you can see, that same level we were just showing here. These kind of previous resistance level that we are pulling into, maybe to try to find a support here. And really breaking down on momentum here to the downside. And look at the VIX and the NASDAQ. As you can see, the VIX finally breaking out. As you see, breaking out here on momentum and breaking out of this significant resistance line here on price. Opening up here right at it this morning, getting a pullback before really pushing through here into the close. We do have the NASDAQ here. If you remember, I did say it was really overextended from this trend line. As you can see, we are starting to pull down here towards this trend line. As you can see, breaking down on momentum as well. We can pull up the SPY here and do a comparison of the NASDAQ and the SPY. As you can see, both of them breaking to the downside here in momentum. With the SPY obviously a lot weaker here than the NASDAQ. So we can go back to the 3-minute and we can talk about some trades. So today I actually wanted to talk about a different kind of trading. I want to talk about micro scalping, the 1-minute chart. I know I really haven't talked about like scalping too much. I've kind of just focused on like these 3-minute kind of squeezes and plays like that and patterns. But I do want to zoom into the 1-minute here and show you guys a different kind of trading. Just more of like a scalping where you're like really in trades for a really quick amount of time. You're making like a lot of trades and like you're only in the trade for like a couple minutes each, right? So here we are on the 1-minute chart of the S&P 500. Let me open this up a little bit more. So I'm going to turn on some drawings here. So as you can see, this is very different than how my the trading charts usually look, but I do want to show you guys a different type of trading strategy. So you're not just a one-trick pony, so that you can actually have a lot of different type of trading. Looking at the 1-minute chart is actually pretty useful for like these early morning ranges too, before you have a lot of price action to deal with. But as you can see down here on the squeeze indicator, you can see all these squeezes, right? So what I like to do is when you see a squeeze here on the 1-minute, you kind of draw the pattern out, right? And so here you had a rising wedge, right? Which is a bearish reversal pattern. We were bearish on the day. We were gapping down, right? You got your breakdown here. You got your retest. So this would have been a nice opportunity to take advantage of the squeeze to the downside here. Just as a play down here towards the open. As you can see, getting another squeeze here. And, another rising wedge, which is another bearish pattern. Getting the same thing, right? The breakdown, the retest. Great opportunity to short on this retest and, just fade down to these lows. And you also get a squeeze here, but this is a bullish pattern, and it wasn't. It made a move, right? If you would have just scalped this breakout here up to the upper extreme, but I was bearish on the day, so I was mainly just looking for bearish patterns. And like here, obviously you have a large squeeze on the 1-minute, And you did have this rising wedge pattern as well. But this one was a lot different, right? So these patterns early in the morning, you definitely want to take profit quick on these, because if you look here at the 5-minute chart, you can see we did have like we did have upward momentum here on the 5-minute chart on these first two rising wedges that I was talking about. And we were pulling into these lower extremes, right? So we had upward momentum, which is not what you want to see on the 5-minute, right? So when you're getting these bearish breakdowns in bearish momentum and squeezes on the 1-minute, you definitely want to take profit really quick, right? Just like take what you get, any support that you start getting into, you want to take that profit, especially if you have bullish momentum, right? But here, this trade could have been like, decent, even though I was bearish, because you do have upward momentum here. So you could have traded that breakout here up to that upper extreme, which on the 1-minute, which did line up with this 5-minute extreme. And the reason that this one actually was the best one here, because you also had that 5-minute squeeze to the downside. You were overall bearish on the day, bearish MACD, bearish momentum. And this was your first bearish momentum here with a massive squeeze on the 5-minute. So if you go back to the 1-minute, you can see why this this squeeze to the downside here did make the biggest move, because it was lining up. So with this one, you would have definitely wanted to hold it a little longer, because you did have other time frames lining up with your with the bearish sentiment of the day. As you can see, just getting the massive sell-off into the close. But yeah, I hope you guys like that. Let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of trading y'all want to see, because I do all kinds of trading. I know I've just been focusing on the SPY, but I do a lot of different kinds of trading. So let me know what kind of, if y'all want to see different stocks, or if y'all want to see more swing trades, or if y'all want to see micro scalping the 1-minute like I went over today. Yeah, just comment down below what kind of trading y'all want to see, because I'm pretty diversified. I've done every type of trading you could do. So yeah, just let me know what kind of strategy you guys want to learn about. But yeah, we can go back to the daily chart here, wrap it up. So yeah, pretty big sell volume today, but we are pulling into support. So I would definitely keep an eye on that level. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see what happens the rest of the week. But yeah, appreciate y'all watching the video, and I will talk to y'all later.